the statistics are that 0.1% of abortions take place after 24 weeks. So we're not talking about a massive number here. And those that do take place are mostly because either the mother's life is at risk or that the baby is going to be born, unfortunately, with incredibly profound deformities. So I think we have to be careful about suggesting that there's a kind of rush for women to have abortions casually after 24 weeks, because, the vast majority of women do take it incredibly seriously. I mean, it's been in the news today, as you were saying, hasn't it, Coleen? And I think it's been reported a bit, unfortunately, it's saying get rid of the 24-week limit. It's suggesting that the Royal College of Midwives wants to get rid of the 24-week limit. In fact, what they want to do is take it out of the criminal justice system, because at the moment, if you self-induce an abortion, or after 24 weeks, then it is a criminal act, and potentially you could be prosecuted. And there is actually a young woman in prison in Durham at the moment because she self-induced an abortion after the 24 weeks. She had severe psychological problems and she ends up in prison. Now, do you want that system? And that's what the Royal College of Midwives is trying to change, to take it out of the criminal justice system. It's not to say, hey, you can have an abortion wherever you want.
The problem is once you take that out of the criminal justice system, will that make it up to people?
Well, no, because it will still be incredibly strictly regulated
after a certain time.
It's about trusting women to make the right decision, and also trusting the medical profession to work with women to make the right decision. I mean, our medical system is regulated. You don't just have abortion, you don't just have any operation casually. The General Medical Council, I mean, so many agencies are in it. So I think we have to be careful.
Well, I had an abortion when I just turned 16, and so that was years and years ago, and you didn't have to have the two doctors, and you didn't
You've always had to have the two doctors. You should have had to have that.
Well, maybe I did.
I
probably thought one, but anyway. But I didn't have counsel. My doctor tried to talk to me, and at the time there was no change in my mind. I was 16. It was my first boyfriend. I'd just joined my sisters, and I thought I didn't tell.
You don't have to justify.
I literally didn't tell anyone. I just went and did it. But I agree that if there is something wrong with the child or potentially life-threatening to the mother or the child, to carry on the pregnancy. For instance, my sister Bernie, she had to be induced to give birth at just under 6 months because the baby wasn't going to survive. It had a Edwards syndrome, it was called, and it was really badly deformed, and she had to go through the whole pregnancy and everything. And it was very traumatic. And so I agree with all of that there. What I don't agree with, and of course as you know me, I go off headlines, my initial thing was, I don't agree with somebody just 24 weeks or 26, 28 weeks deciding, actually I've decided against it, I don't want this now. I don't want to, I don't want this baby, so I'm going to get rid of it. To me that is bordering on criminal. You know before 28 weeks whether you want to keep a baby or not.
But it
depends the evidence is that that's not really happening, to be honest. It's more likely to be a case, say you were 16 and you were in an abusive relationship and your parents were going to absolutely murder you if you were pregnant, and you were scared and you didn't tell anyone, and it creeps on and it creeps on, and you are in fear of all sorts of situations, and you get to 25 weeks and you go to a clinic and no, actually this is a criminal act, you could go to prison.
I had a friend that absolutely happened to. I mean, bless her, she was very young and she kept it. She did about 20 pregnancy tests, and every pregnancy test was saying it was positive, but she was convinced that she wasn't pregnant because she was so scared. And she didn't really know till 8.5 months. I mean, the problem is, what about somebody that's a rape victim, for instance, that is so traumatised by what's happened to them that there's been a complete denial of what's gone on? Would you then
know in your there's loads of circumstances. I'm not talking about, of course, for women that go through any kind of trauma like that. Of course, and I hope that obviously will all be looked at. But if we're talking about should we just, you can have an abortion at any stage, then that's what I'm against.
I don't think anyone suggests
there's circumstances where it's obvious that, they have a right. I mean, they have a right, but I just find, anything above, I mean, I would make it lower, to be honest with you. I just think for some women, whether you're going to keep a baby or not, you don't have to wait till you're 6, 7 months pregnant.
So what weeks would you have it at?
And then I would do it up to 12, probably 18 tops.
Really?
For me, yeah.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here.
so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.
Majority of the letters I get in the problem page are either relationship-based or to do with depression or feeling lost. And having that thing of I've no one to talk to, and I always say, you know, have you tried? And it's like, well, no, because they wouldn't understand.
Absolutely.
And I think it is very, very difficult. I think you have to, when you are the person listening, you have to be very aware